Hey everybody, it's the Manzoni in the Morning Show. I'm your host, Alexander A. Manzoni. I had some problems with YouTube Live this morning. After about the fifth time I tried to go live and it just stuck on the loading page, I just gave up. Because I'm already ready, I got this fucking shit on. Let's get this show on the road. Today we're going to be doing some poetry, some spoken word, and do a little bit of music here. All right, let's get her started. All right, let's do some poetry. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I performed poetry at the Terrain 11 show in Spokane, and it was a great show. I got to do about 10 minutes, and I did 4 poems. All classics. Classics. Here is a poem for all the kids who know they're depressed, but their parents say, I waited all summer for it to be over. And then as soon as fall arrived, I knew it. My body knew it too. It's time. Depression time. Not hammer time, I eschew such dated adornments as parachute pants. How else did one dance in the 90s? Don't bring up those other wide-leg monstrosities, jinkos. Remember those? Remember those days. I was depressed then as well, but back then even less people understood than do today. The smell of fall brings to mind chaos. Chaos of school, hospital, the psych ward. I used to think it was nothing more than a case of back-to-school blues. But I overshot that blue straight into black, into the fiery red of blazing coals. And I could not understand, do not understand why this comes in cycles. Same time every year, election day doesn't help. Every year, it has grown in burgeoning intensity. And I lose more faith in my country, in my supposed party. And they are the ones who shall therefore represent me and my generation. Depression takes hold. I feel it gripping. My heart in my rib cage, ready to explode and shatter. No matter. they'll find someone to easily replace me. Until they can occupy that space with automated junk ordered expensively from Amazon, from Hammacher Schlemmer, Sharper Image, or any of the others. Despite what Marvin says, you'll be hard-pressed to build a functioning bipolar robot. I thought he was from Doctor Who, but instead I was told by a towel-wearing Englishman, don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic, except that I did. And where did that lead? To a hell of a lot of pain and suffering that still continues. I often feel that there is no use, except that now I try to inspire others so afflicted, every critically depressed teen whose mother says that they are instead simply lazy and addicted to video games, to their phones. Time to play. Insert coin here. Acknowledge your greatest fears. Here is one of mine. Asking for help when I need it. It used to be getting called out in front of class. What are you doing? They'd ask. He's drawing more of those monsters. Cartoon comics that helped me deal with the darkness. I gave it a face, and I fought that darkness with a plethora of emboldened knights. While jocks made fun of me, they thought me to be too effeminate, writing poetry, and I played into their head. With carbon monoxide hose from exhaust to car window, the heat, it melted the hose. After I had passed out, I shout, I'm glad that I didn't die. I'm glad that no one had to cry at an early funeral. I hope that you will get help. If this is the case, you must face and confront your demons before they consume you in the worst way possible. Thank you. That's some poetry right there. I wrote yesterday. It was raining out. I kind of sat in the doorway, writing poetry, looking out at the rain. And that night I went to local Spokane poet Devin Devine's going away party. She's going on tour across the United States. New adventures. I went there and saw some poetry and some comedy. I went up there and read a poem, Congruency and Contradictions. And I also bought her book. That's Kiss the Messenger. This is book 2. It's a serial detective novel series that takes place in Spokane. And it's dark and gritty and a lot of craziness. The difference between that and the Spokane Story is, although they're set in kind of the same place with the same types of characters, one goes into more of the detective mystery action aspect, and then mine is more of a comedic look at the lifestyles of addicts and criminals and people on the street. Some of my best moments I captured forever in the Spokane Story. But I'm looking forward to reading this book. I read the first one. I enjoyed it. So that's cool, because I have a problem with reading these days. I think my eyes are not working as well as they used to. So it's hard for me to get through stuff. Then again, I tried reading things like Infinite Jest, which is over 1,000 pages. And then I wonder why I can't get through it all the way. But there's way too many tiny footnotes in that book. Little footnotes everywhere. Driving fucking crazy. Alright, this is going to be a reading from the Spokane Story. Let's see here. Alright. The old man takes to the road. Downtown, Spokane Falls Boulevard. Friday, November 14th, 2014, 6 p.m. The old Odyssey RV skidded on the wet pavement, slick with leaves, fishtailed onto Trent Avenue towards Spokane Falls Boulevard. A placid fellow in full cyclist regalia and a blue rain poncho swerved to avoid getting hit and came extremely close to flipping over the handlebars. The old man had no love for those on the road with bicycles. To him, they simply looked like brightly colored moving targets, dumb peacocks covered in paste-on reflectors. The LED light on the cyclist's expensive lightweight helmet left a floater to the far right of the old man's field of vision. It quickly faded and then grew again in intensity, and with that was finally left behind in the darkness. All the old man had was a tray full of meth, his pills, and his own disjointed thoughts. He forgot all about his cat Hitler, who by now was rifling through a trash pile somewhere by the Social Security Office of Adjudication and Review, a place not unfamiliar to the old man or his good-for-nothing, his words, not mine, son, at all.
They think they own the fucking road. Why'd anyone want to pay that much money to dress up like such an asshole? Said the old man. Doesn't make sense to me, not a bit. He took a breath. My gun! They took my fucking gun from me! Sons of bitches! Oh, I'll be back for them one of these days. And how the fuck's Pete gonna find me? I told that boy to get a phone. A free one from the government. But no.
His voice slipped into a falsetto murmur impersonation of Pete.
But I can't fill out the paperwork.
Then he dropped his voice back down.
Can't fill out the paperwork, he says. Fucking dumb that kid is. How's he expect to get on disability then? It's nothing but paperwork. Took me 3 goddamn years, but I'm got it. Why the fuck can't he? He'd better get his shit together. I tell you what, he ain't getting any younger, that's for sure.
The RV slowed down to a stop at a 2-lane four-way intersection. The brakes made a horrific grinding scream as they did their work. The old man winced and clutched the steering wheel tightly until there were deep impressions left in the worn and deteriorating black leather. A silver Nissan Xterra full of laughing college-age girls rolled up beside the old man.
Look at what we got here,
he said, which ideally should have been, look at what we have here. But that wasn't about to happen. Their laughter, the girls stopped abruptly once their eyes, gilded with fake lashes and glitter matching their fingernails, met with the old man's. After that, they tried their best not to look at him while they waited for the light to turn. And oh, did the seconds just crawl by then. The fiend's abject stare burnt into them until it became so unbearable that the comely young woman in the driver's seat did tremble. To her, the old man looked all too much alike an undead Charles Manson. There are plenty of characters resembling such a description that lie at the fringes on the streets of Spokane. The difference being that this one, the old man, stood out from all the rest in his uniquely grotesque nefariousness.
I should follow him, said the old man. Put the fear of hell into him.
That was when Skip called again. Thank God. The old man wrinkled his nose when he saw the caller ID come up. But then he figured that Skip wouldn't call so quickly after having just met with him without good reason. So the old man answered it, his attention diverted from the road as the light turned green. His right foot made no move towards the sticky gas pedal.
What the fuck is it, Skip?
Hate to tell you this, buddy, but the cops has showed up here and they're asking questions about you. The static sound emanating from the phone metamorphosized into a number of different voices, as if Skip was switching places with someone else between words and phrases. The old man rapped his fingers against the steering wheel whilst his face went cold, though it still radiated a substantial amount of heat from hyperthermia. He froze in that moment. His phone, shiny with face grease, was held distantly away from his ear. He left further and further away until it seemed to him to disappear into the galaxies, into the vacant vast expanse that lay between the stars at the outer rim of our universe. And although this experience was extremely hallucinogenic, it was a blitzkrieg transubstantiation of nothing into nothing. His mind retained only minuscule fragments of what he actually perceived in those few seconds before some goodly citizen pulled up behind the RV and laid on the horn, which was to little effect. The cacophonous din brought the old man somewhat to his senses. His head was tilted way back into the headrest. It jerked back into normal position. The guy behind the RV started screaming some gibberish. The old man, he could not understand. He was having enough trouble with this goddamn phone.
Skip?
Asked the old man, who was almost a little fearful. Almost.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there?
I might be a bit lost in translation. Hold on, I'm still driving here. Brain took a shit on me for a second there.
The old man, realizing he was obstructing traffic, began to move the RV again. It gained speed with the alacrity of a garden snail under sedation. A fluid stream of curses echoed from behind the old man and was henceforth lost in the night. It was nothing that was going to really get under his skin, though, no. And when the angry motorist, a too thin and bony graying man in his mid-40s driving his hot red midlife crisis mobile with especially douchey love and life vanity plates, he went to pass the Odyssey on the left. All the old man had to do was give him the eyes, and that was it.
Yeah, I know how that can be,
added Skip, harshly breaking through the temporary silence with his characteristically whiny nasal tone.
You didn't tell them pig fuckers anything, did you, man?
Nah, man. I didn't say shit. Well, nothing they could use anyhow.
Oh, that's good. Thanks, Skip.
No problem. Say, where are you going to be later on? I'm going to work on getting up some money.
Who the fuck knows? I'm gonna need to find a new spot to camp out.
Well, don't stray too far from downtown in case I need you.
Yeah.
Shit,
said Skip, somewhat perturbed.
That milquetoast dweeb from Idaho's over there talking to the cops. Fuck! He's pointing at me. I better split.
Good idea, cuz.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of that no-good son of mine. I told him to put minutes on his phone. How much you gonna bet he didn't?
Yeah, right. Bye-bye.
The old man hung up as he was arriving at the stoplight intersection of Spokane Falls Boulevard and Brown Street. He waited until the light turned and made a left without signaling. Then he popped the phone back open and dialed his son's phone number. It went straight to voicemail. Hi, this is Pete. I don't check my voicemail, so don't bother leaving one. Peace.
Little bastard. I knew it. Now what's the name of that drunken Indian you're always hanging out with? I think I got him somewhere on my contact list. What the fuck is his name? Davey? Mikey? Danny? Ben? Fuck. I always just call him Tonto. I told you to put minutes on your phone. Listen, I had to leave our spot across from the mission. I'm driving around. I haven't picked out a new spot yet. I'll let you know when that is when I figure it out myself. Call your father back, shithead.
The Odyssey went up a few blocks and went under a puke-spotted overpass with colorful murals. This one in particular was a bit odd, a bit strangely lopsided in spots and covered with additional graffiti tags. This was a mural painted by the homeless, which has now been painted over. Which explained why it seemed like it was painted by mental patients in sections. Because it was. Half-face put his tag right up over there, spray painted right over the fucking thing. You could see that quite plainly even when driving by. The old man knew some of the people responsible for this work of transient art. Some of them were dead, and some weren't. Faded yellow lights illuminated the underbelly of the overpass. Small clusters of 2 to 4 people were huddled there seeking shelter from the rain, mostly smoking pot out of glass bowls and aluminum beer cans. A couple haggard individuals were sprawled out on flattened cardboard boxes, drinking malt liquor or stacking and arranging the lids off of plastic pop bottles. As the old man flew by, he stuck out his arm and waved, giving them a garbled, "Hey!" When one such individual got up and tried to flag the old man down, to no avail. They could wait until the shit was weighed, bagged up, and ready, which, by the way, was yet another one of Pete's jobs.
Pete, where the hell are you, boy?
All right, I'm going to stop there. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Hopefully tomorrow or the day after, YouTube Live works better, and that way I could just do this and then not have to worry about this crap because, well, you know what? Anything can happen when you're doing live, you know. But this is Alexander A. Manzoni with Manzoni in the Morning. Hope everyone has a great day.